States across the country may be on the other side of the Omicron surge. Alabama currently the only state where cases are rising. It also happens to be the state with the lowest percentage of fully vaccinated people. But even with so many states in the green, there are still thousands of Americans dying every single day from COVID, with a very real possibility of 1 million COVID deaths in this country by summer. How far away from normal are we? So joining me now to discuss Dr. Peter Hotez. He is the co-director of the Texas Children's Hospital Center for Vaccine Development. Doctor, thank you. Good to see you. The White House this week is beginning to sketch a plan for going back to life without COVID causing major disruptions, but saying that we're not there yet. What measure would you be looking for that we've entered an endemic phase rather than being in a pandemic?
Well, I think the first thing we want to see is this Omicron wave go way down to the point where it was before it started, as the Delta wave had really descended in the South. So, we're only about halfway down, and it's unclear whether it'll get stuck there for a while, just like it did in the UK. So the first thing that has to happen is the Omicron wave has to really descend down to the bottom. The second thing that has to happen is to make certain that this BA2 variant, which is causing problems in Denmark and the UK, doesn't cause it to stall or rise up again. And that's another possibility. But let's assume now that we're now well into the spring and Omicron is in our rearview mirror. What does the world look like at that point? And there's debate among the scientific community. I think we're still very vulnerable to another big summer wave across the South and Texas, just like we were in 2020 and 2021. Others say no, this will look more like a regular seasonal winter virus, and there's some models to suggest that might be a possibility. So the bottom line is no matter what we need to do, we need to still increase the percentage of our U.S. population that's vaccinated, and someone's got to figure out how we're going to vaccinate globally, because that's where all the new variants of concern are emerging from the world's low and middle income countries. So that's a Cliff Notes version on where we're headed.
Yeah. So, listen, I need to congratulate you because you and your co-director at the Center for Vaccine Development at Texas Children's Hospital have been nominated this week for the 2022 Nobel Peace Prize for your work to develop and provide access to COVID vaccines in countries around the world. It's not the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, so can you tell us about your work, please?
Well, we've been, when I say we, my science partner for the last 20 years, Dr. Mary Elena Patazzi, we've been making vaccines that the big pharma companies won't make. They're vaccines for the world's poorest people, vaccines for diseases of Africa, such as schistosomiasis and hookworm, or the poor regions of Latin America, Chagas disease. And what we do is we make recombinant protein vaccines, usually using yeast fermentation. It's actually a vegan process that's been around for 30 years, used to make the hepatitis B vaccine. About 10 years ago, we started making coronavirus vaccines because they were orphaned just like the others. Nobody cared about coronavirus vaccines 10 years ago. And then when the COVID-19 sequence hit, we were able to hit the ground running. We made a really exciting vaccine that now we've licensed with no patent, no strings attached, to vaccine producers in India, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Southern Africa, and India is the furthest along. And what we do is we transfer the ownership in each case. So they own the vaccine. It's called Corbevax, made by Biological E. It has a great safety profile. Really looks exciting in terms of its ability to protect populations, and they've now produced 250 million doses with plans for 1 billion doses, and hopefully that'll start filling the gap, because we need 6 to 9 billion doses before the world's low and middle income countries are fully vaccinated.
Doctor, that is amazing. I mean, there should be millions and millions more people like you. Congratulations on that, and don't stop. Continue on, please. It is a huge honor. But the same night the Fox Propaganda Network went after you, with Tucker Carlson comparing you to Alex Jones, that's bad enough. But you shared on Twitter how hours later you're receiving threats accusing you of violating the Constitution and treason, and calling for you to be hanged. Did you ever think that you'd be on the receiving end of messages like that?
And Don, this is not the first time. This is a regular occurrence now. Anytime the nighttime Fox News anchors go after me, or Steve Bannon or Congresswoman Green goes after me, it's followed by a barrage of really scary emails, and we've had to bring in the Houston Police Department, and because I'm Jewish, there's a lot of anti-Semitism linked to it, a lot of Nazi stuff, and so after the Anti-Defamation Leagues helped me, these are really tough times. I never dreamed when I got my MD and PhD to make vaccines to help the world's poorest people. That was the reason I did it. That they would be followed by something like this. So we live in very difficult times indeed.
Yeah. I wish I could say that I haven't experienced similar to what you had, but I have, and so I feel your pain. I'm empathetic to it. I'm so sorry that this happened to you, but on the bright side, you're an amazing human being, and you're doing great work for humankind. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Don. That means a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.